What's up, listeners? Welcome to another episode of Light Beyond Limits, podcast where we talk about the breakthroughs and the stories that people have had with their limitations and the lessons that they learned from them. My name is William Blake. Today, we're going to talk about a very important topic, which is the 5 steps that a dyslexic needs in order to achieve their goals. These are 5 steps that I have done to be able to become a speaker, an author, and an individual who has created his own business specifically for coaching individuals with dyslexia. So I'm going to share with you my 5 steps, as well as a resource at the end that you are going to want to have. So let's jump right into it. The 5 steps that you need to be able to achieve your goal as a dyslexic. Ever since I was a little kid, I knew I could achieve more. I always wanted to be a teacher, a speaker, and an author. I remember when I was a kid, I'd be sitting at my bed and my dad would be sitting next to me and he'd be reading me Dr. Seuss. And as he read one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish, I became enthralled, not with the fish, not with the rhyming, but the ability to have something that you created in front of you. And I wanted that as an author. I wanted to be able to have a book that I was proud of, that I would be reading all of the time. And now, as I evolved my goal with my lifestyle, I want to create a series that my children will love to read and love sharing with their friends. Ever since I was a little kid, I wanted that. Then I got diagnosed with dyslexia, which affects 4 different areas: reading, writing, speaking, and spelling. And of course, there's different variations of it, but I found that those are the 4 main areas. And reading, writing, and speaking were the hardest for me. But as I grew up through elementary school and went into middle school and high school and even into college, it was lonely. Times that I have friends, they were in honors classes and I was left behind. And I always felt that there was more, but this thing called dyslexia got in my way. Until finally I made a decision that this life shouldn't simply be for people who don't have challenges. People who achieve things have to be facing at least some of the same things I am, and have realized that they are. And if they are facing the same things that I'm facing, and we each have 24 hours in a day, then that simply means they're using their time for something and they're breaking through something to be able to achieve their goal. And I was able to go out and become a best-selling author. I was able to go out and be an award-winning speaker. I was able to go out and create a business specifically for dyslexics, specifically for individuals who struggle with reading, who hate standing up in the middle of class or hate giving presentations at work, who are just not in love with reading memos or having to write resumes or anything that has to do with words. But I found that these 5 steps that have helped me go from where I was to where I am today and into the future of who I want to be, I want to share them with you because pain sucks and the struggle is real. And when we are able to go through the pain, that's where we progress. And I want you to progress. I want you to get out of that darkness that you've lived in. And I know that feeling because I was in that darkness as well. It felt like I was sitting in the corner in a very dark room, full of anxiety, full of stress, that no matter what I did, everyone was boggling down on me. Everyone was telling me that I couldn't achieve anything simply because I couldn't read, because I was behind in my writing skills. That didn't seem right. And I looked forward and I saw the spark. I saw this shift in my mindset, something that I could just reach out and try to grab. And so I went and reached out to it. I flipped on the switch. I saw this light. I went to break through the things that I was limiting myself with. And now I'm here to share them with you. So here are the 5 steps. The 5 steps that have taken me from where I was to where I want to be. Number 1, the belief and mindset. Step number 1 is what we believe. If we don't believe that we can achieve something, then there's no way that we're going to achieve it. Henry Ford said, whether you think you can or you can't, you are right. Think about that for a moment. If you think you can't do something, then why would your brain, why would your subconscious take power to go towards something that you don't think is possible? It won't. So if you believe you can't, you're right. On the flip side, if you believe that you can, your mind will stop going from why can't I do this to how can I achieve this? What resources do I need? What connections can I get connected to in order to start the ball rolling? Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So it's so important that with us as dyslexics to have this first step, the smallest of small things of believing that there's something more in life, believing that there is more out there, that dream, that vision, that goal, that northern star, that finish line that you are trying to achieve. It's possible. It's possible to get there. And I know it because I've achieved my dream multiple times. And I still have dreams that I'm working on right now. And I know that you also have a dream, but it's just covered with stress, anxiety, and pain. And I'm here to tell you that even though it's covered with that, I'm here to help. People around this world are here to help. And that as you continue to show up for yourself, continue to stand after you have fallen, that you'll be able to reach that result too. So that first step is to have that shift in your mindset. Step number 2, be a GPS. I love this one because people are like, what is this acronym? What is a GPS? Well, for those who are older than the 2000s of born, might know this more commonly as the Maps app on your phone. That's all it is. A GPS was something that you'd hook up onto your dashboard that would literally be showing you the route that you need to take to get to where you need to go. Before, it was on a cell phone. Now we have them on our cell phones and we are able to do it. Being a GPS is first knowing exactly where you are, and second, knowing where you want to go. You need to know where you want to go. You need to know the goal, the vision, the dream that you're aiming for. If you don't know where you're going, it doesn't matter what route that you take. On the other side as well, if you know where you're going, but you don't know where you're at, then that means you can be in the middle of the ocean and say, I want to get to New York. But not knowing exactly where it is, you can paddle as hard as you want. You can put in the grind, you can put in the hard work. But if you don't know where you're going, then you're not going to get there. But when you know exactly where you are and you know exactly where you want to go, then you have the direction that you're able to head. And that's step 2 of being know where you want to go, where you are at, and having that direction to go forward, being that GPS. Step 3, reverse engineering your goal. For those of you who are engineers, you know that you need to do things in the right order. And if you don't do things in the right order, then you will come to a certain point to where you realize, oh my goodness, I need to restart or go several steps back because that needed to be done before this needed to be done. With reverse engineering the goal, if any of you have been to a restaurant, let's say IHOP, that's the first one that comes to my mind. And on the table, they have this kid's map and they have a little maze on there. Every time I go there, I never start at the start line. I always visualize myself starting at the finish, working my way backwards. That way, when I finally put crayon to paper, I can flawlessly go from the start to the finish. That's what we need to do with our goals. We need to start with the end and work our way backwards. And when we do that, we create the milestones, we create the steps in order to have the blueprint for us to be able to go forward and enact our plan. Reverse engineering the goal is to set those milestones and have the blueprint ready. Having everything that needs to be done to be able to move forward into step 4, which is the 2% rule, or taking consistent action. Taking consistent action is so important when it comes to doing something because nothing gets done if you don't move. You can have your car detailed. You can have your car all clean in the interior, smelling so good, outside, washed and waxed. But if you don't take your foot off the brake, you ain't showing nobody. You can't drive to where you're going to be showing your car if you don't take your foot off the brake. So once you have that plan, once you have all the back end and everything you need, you got to take the consistent action to go forward. And here's why I say 2% rule. This is something I created that's worked for me and can hopefully work for you. The 2% rule is taking 2% action every single day to get to where you need to go. If your goal is 100%, that is 100% completion, 2% every day, 2 to 4 to 6 to 8 to 10, all the way up to 100. And you'll realize that it is not that far away. But it's simply because you are stuck where you are at and feel so overwhelmed that you aren't taking the small steps to be able to get there. Because here's the thing, people come back at me and say, Willie, why not 100%? Why can't we focus on that? Or Willie, why not 1%? I've realized that if you focus on 100%, you hit what's called analysis paralysis. This is where you feel overwhelmed by the abundance of everything you have to do. This is where the perfectionist and this is where the procrastinators live. And you get paralyzed because there's so much that needs to get done. On the flip side, if you focus on 1%, it doesn't get a fire within you to get to where you want to go. It doesn't get you out of your comfort zone to grow. That's why I love 2%, because it's big enough to get that fire, that passion out of you and get you into a comfort zone, but also small enough so that you can take small actions and actually take the actions and not be paralyzed to be able to move forward towards the goal that you're aiming for. 2% action every single day to get to where you need to go. Then last, step 5. Adjust and adapt. As you are moving forward, you will find that at times, the route that you have taken is one that might go off in a different direction than the goal that you're aiming for. So what you need to do is you need to sit down, redirect where you're going, and then move forward back towards the goal. If you have ever flown an airplane, which I don't think most people have, I have not either. So I'm going to use this analogy based off of other people's information. If you are flying in an airplane and you start off a little bit crooked, then when you start flying, the destination that you're going towards is ahead of you, but you start curving off. And the longer you stay on that path, the further you go. The longer you are working towards your goal and that you don't pivot back towards the goal that you are aiming for, the harder it is to get back on track. So if you are someone who is not going towards their goal and divoting out, I ask you to reflect on what's going on, pivot where you're at, take that time to stop, and then move back forward towards your goal. Because I don't want you out in Kingdom Come feeling, again, more paralyzed because there's so much more to do. I want you to start from where you're at. I want you to reflect on where you're at. And then I want you to start taking the steps from where you're at. We are all human. We all make mistakes. I make mistakes. I think I make mistakes more than anyone else in this world. But here's the thing, that doesn't stop me from going to where I want to get, because I want to get to a lot of different places. But I know that if I don't pick a single one to aim towards and start moving forward to, I'm not going to get there. So whatever it is for you, adjust and adapt, reflect and refine what you need to do to be able to pivot back into achieving your goal. And those are the 5 steps that have helped me as a dyslexic and can hopefully help you as a dyslexic or someone who you know that is one, to be able to achieve the goals that you want. So to recap, the first one is the belief and mindset. You need to believe that you can achieve something, because if you don't, why would you work toward it? The second one of knowing exactly where you are and where you want to go, being that GPS. so that you know the direction that you need to head. The third one, reverse engineer your goal. Creating the blueprint by starting at the end, working your way backwards, finding those milestones, and having the plan to then move forward. Number four, 2% action every single day to get to where you need to go. Taking consistent action, because taking the action is how you get to where you want. And then the fifth one, adjust and adapt. You don't want to be going off in the wrong direction. You want to be pivoting forward, because it's not ever just a straight path. Pivot forward so that you attain your goal faster and at a rate that you want and desire. Those are the 5 steps, again, that have helped me to get to where I want to go. I hope that you have found a golden nugget in there as well. And I want to leave you, like I said at the very beginning, with a resource. I leave you with these 5 steps in my ebook that I've created. The Dyslexic Achiever's Blueprint is an ebook that I've created for dyslexics to be able to achieve their goals. It goes over those 5 steps. It also shares resources about websites, podcasts, apps, books that have helped me, then can hopefully help you. It also gives an example of famous individuals who have had dyslexia their entire life and have achieved millions, if not billions of dollars and success in the lives that they're doing. From businessmen to actresses to chefs to artists, those examples are in there. And I want to give it to you for free. You can find it at coachwilliamblake.com/free gift. I'll put this in the description as well. And I want to share that with you. Again, coachwilliamblake.com/free gift. And I want to be able to give that to you guys. I ask for your email so that we can stay connected, so that I can give you even more resources after. But I want to give this to you guys. So go to that website. Again, I'll put it in the description so you can have it. But let's move forward with our dyslexia. Let's stop using it as an excuse, and let's make the goal and make the dream become a reality, because you are worth it. I believe in you. Other people believe in you as well. And it's time for you to believe in yourself. Step up to the greatness that you have and to achieve what you want. And that's been this episode of Light Beyond Limits. If you found inspiration, go ahead and subscribe to our podcast. You can find us on all the major podcasting platforms, as well as you can go to our website, Coach William Blake. There you'll be able to find the link to our podcast, the links to our socials, as well as the link to the free gift book that I'm giving you. And until next time, my friends, continue to be awesome. Continue to light up this world. And always remember, an excuse is an excuse. And that this dyslexia that we have is not our challenge, but our advantage. It's our edge. And as we move forward and believe in ourselves, we can achieve the goals that we want. We just simply need to start stepping. We'll see you on the next episode, my friends, of Light Beyond Limits.